Welcome to Viking basketball with Coach Barret Peery as the Vikings get ready to play their final two games of the regular season, both at home this week. Thursday night, Portland State hosts Northern Colorado, and on Saturday they host North Dakota. Of course, both of those games up at Lewis and Clark College as the Vikings wrap up the regular season and prepare to go to the Big Sky tournament. Portland State right now 18-11, 8-8 in the Big Sky Conference. And Coach, we're going to start talking about something that happened last week, and that was 2 more road wins. The Vikings 10-5 on the road this season, 10 road wins, most in school history. And talk a little bit about your team on the road and perhaps why you've had so much success.
Well, we've lived on the road, so I don't know if we care much whether it's a home game or a road game, but our guys, obviously, with that number that you threw out there being 10-5 on the road, our guys have been a tough group, a very tough-minded, resilient group that's, to win on the road, you have to be a together team. And, last week was a perfect example. We had 2 games where we didn't have crazy high scoring by one individual, but we had a bunch of guys contribute. 2 different games where there was 5 or 6 double-digit scores, and it was really nice to see. But our guys have handled the road very well.
We'll talk quickly about the game at Southern Utah where your freshman point guard hit a big shot to send it to overtime. And the thing that impressed me was you kind of stood there on the sideline as everything was breaking down and having trouble getting that shot up. And I could see in the background, no reaction at all. You just kind of let it all happen in front of you. And then when he hit the shot, still no reaction, probably because you knew there was basketball to be played.
We still had a little bit of time left on the clock. I was most nervous about making sure we didn't give up anything late right after he made the shot. But I wasn't surprised. Our guys have hit big shots all year long. We've had a lot of, great endings to games. We've lost a couple on the bad end of it, but we've won more than we've lost as far as hitting big shots late in the game. Wasn't surprised that Boo Boo made that shot. We had drawn up a couple things to try to get a couple different guys' shots within that 16-second mark, that we had when we called timeout. We didn't get anything. Boo Boo went and made a play and hit a big shot.
All right, and then as we look at the Northern Arizona game, Vikings probably didn't put in their best offensive performance. The thing that I noticed about the game, offensive rebounding was really huge, and you can point again to Brandon Hollins and the work he's done, but what was it that allowed your team to pull out a victory there?
Well, the first half, I guess we tried to find the positives in the fact that we had only given up 23 points in the first half, but we'd only scored 24, so we were trying to find the silver lining a little bit, but we had no pace. We didn't have our energy in the first half. Second half we go out and double the score of what we did in the first half. Give NAU a lot of credit. They didn't go away. I think we got a double-digit lead, 2 or 3 different times. Thought we could maybe get rid of them a little bit. They kept plugging. They kept fighting and scratching and clawing. Our guys had to make plays down the end to finish them off and get them out of there.
All right. This week, the Vikings will have Senior Day on Saturday. Coach, I'm going to ask you to say a couple of words about each guy. I'll throw a name out, and you tell me maybe the positives of that guy and what he's meant to your team. And we'll start off with a guy who's been here for just one season but has had a big impact, and that's the center, Ryan Edwards.
Ryan is a very good player and a great kid, and he's done a good job of trying to fit into our system. In Ryan's defense, that people have heard me say it over and over, Ryan's probably the one guy in our program more than anybody else that doesn't fit me for how we want to play. We want to play really, really fast, and Ryan is a big kid, and he's worked really hard to be in shape and be able to play our way. As you've seen the season go along, he's gotten more and more comfortable. I think he's had a very good Big Sky season. He's hit big shots for us. He scored the ball in the post. He's a tremendous teammate and somebody that I think I've been really blessed to have. When we got here, we needed to get a post guy. And so for us to get Ryan, that was a really, really big deal.
All right, we'll move on to another guy who's had some injuries this season, kind of slowed him down a little bit, but he actually pretty good contributor just on Saturday night in that game, and that is another inside player, Traylon Farris.
Traylon's probably had the most disappointing season, and I say that for him. Just an injury-plagued year after coming off a year last year where he was 11 or 12 points a game and 6 or 7 rebounds a night. I had very, very high hopes for Traylon. I still do. I've been in his corner all year long as far as trying to bring him along through his injuries and through, tough times, through disappointment. He's been down about how it's gone. When you go into your senior year, he had pretty good momentum, like I said, coming off of a good junior year numbers-wise. and he just hasn't been able to find the right momentum. But when we've had Traylon, he contributes. You know, he had a great second half against Montana State that got us a win. He made big baskets on Saturday at NAU. And so when he gets opportunities, he tries to give us everything he has, and he's done a good job.
All right, a two-year player with the Vikings and a guy who's pretty much done it all, and that's Brice Kanda, among the team leaders in scoring, rebounding, assists, three-point field goals. Does a little bit of everything. I know you like his defense too.
Yeah, Brice has had to do a lot. Brice has probably had to play more positions than anybody else on the team, and we just kind of tell him, hey, go out and do it. I usually give him about a 5-second explanation of what he needs to go do, whether he's playing the 2 or the 4 or whatever it may be, and he tries to answer the call on that. He's hit big shots for us all year. He's had to guard different positions, handle the ball, and be a good senior for me. You know, be a guy that as I transitioned into my spot here, he's done a good job of helping me with that. So he's done a great job, and he'll be missed as well.
And another two-year guy, and a guy I think who's created a lot of fans this year by the energy and the way he's played. Probably the most improved player on the team, and that would be Brandon Hollins.
Well, you know, Hollow went through a little stretch, you know, right in the middle of the year where we really missed him in January. He got pneumonia and he dislocated his thumb, and so he was kind of on the shelf for 3 or 4 weeks, and then he's come back just absolutely on fire. His growth has been tremendous both on and off the court. He's been an unbelievable teammate, and he really just shows up and works hard and plays. You know, he's been, you know, if he doesn't have a double-double each night, we're surprised because, well, you know, what happened? Where was he? But fortunately for us, that's not happening very much. You know, he's finding a way to get a double-double almost every night. His energy, his passion has really fit me. And he's another guy as a senior, as I got here and we moved through this process in the spring and the summertime, has really, really grown and become a really good Viking basketball player.
All right, now we look ahead to the games, and the Vikings currently in 6th place in the Big Sky. They can finish 5th, 6th, or 7th, depending on how things come out as they head into the Big Sky tournament. Thursday night, they're playing the team directly in front of them. That's Northern Colorado. The Bears 19-10 on the season, 10-6 in the Big Sky. They have a lot to play for. They can get as high as 2nd place, so they really have a lot to play for. And, of course, they bring in a couple of really talented guards, like most teams in the Big Sky, Andre Spite and Jordan Davis.
Yeah, you know, their coach is a good friend of mine. I've seen them play a ton this year. One thing about, you know, when we've scouted each and every week, they're always playing the teams that are playing, you know, the week before we play them, they're playing them. And so I feel like I've seen Northern Colorado play every single game this year, but haven't really scouted them really hard until this week. Jeff's done a great job with his team. He's really turned it around from last year, which was his first year. Spite's a great scorer. He's actually a guy that I recruited and we signed at Arizona State years ago. And through his travels, now he's finishing up at Northern Colorado. So I know Andre very well. And then the other kid, Brown, you know, Davis has done a tremendous job as well. He's a ball handler. He's quick. He's probably given of himself a little bit to get Andre more shots, whereas last year he probably had the ball a little bit more. But then they have other bullets as well. Their big guys have done a good job around the rim. And then they've got guys like Johnson, who 2 years ago was, you know, an all-league type guy that's a senior for them now and has really scored the ball well.
All right, and then Saturday, the defending Big Sky champions, North Dakota, haven't had quite the same year, lost a lot of guys off that champion team last year, but that's going to be senior day, always a lot of emotion, and how do you prepare your guys to kind of overcome some of that emotion, especially a team with a lot of seniors, and get that closing victory?
Yeah, you know, I'll be the most emotional one out of everybody. You know, we're an emotional group. We try to call this a family every single day, and it'll be a big day for us. And then we'll have to take care of business quickly. North Dakota maybe hasn't had the year that they had last year, but Coach does a good job with them as well. They have plenty of bullets in their gun, and they have the ability to beat people, and they've shown that this year.
So you, at this point, can't wait to get to the Big Sky tournament. Am I right?
One game at a time. How about that? But no, we'll be excited for the tournament. We're really excited. I'd like to see where we finish. I'm looking forward to that, looking to see who we are this week as we play. I think we have very good momentum, obviously, coming off this road trip, as well as, you know, winning quite a few games recently. And our guys have really adjusted and done a good job.
Vikings have won 3 in a row, 4 of their last 5 games, trying to keep that momentum going as they are at home this week. Thursday night, Northern Colorado. Saturday afternoon, North Dakota. Viking basketball. Get all your information at GoVikes.com.